Hello, people, YouTubers, Facebookers. The first video I made in this series here, the first one was the creation of our solar system, and at the end of that video, our solar system would be as it was made after all the planets were formed. So what we have in the solar system at that time would be Mercury, Venus, Mars, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, a planet where the asteroid belt is, that's the fifth one, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, dwarf planet. And then, of course, we got the Kuiper belt, and then farther out, way farther out, we got the Oort cloud. And two things that weren't in this solar system at that time either. Our moon, that wasn't here, because that's not from here. Same thing with the moon that's orbiting around Saturn. It's called Iapetus. Okay, it's shaped like a dodecahedron, and it's got a ridge that goes like this. It goes up for 6 miles and goes all the way around the middle of the planet. Okay, that doesn't belong in the solar system either. Those Iapetus and our moon, those two don't belong here. They're from somewhere else. Okay, I believe they're connected, but they're not from here. So anyway, so now that our solar system has been created and we've got all these planets, Earth it's been cooled off, and we'll have, they'll have lots of oceans and stuff like that. But it's not, it wouldn't be anything like this, okay? The weather systems and the storms and stuff like that on this planet are going to be brutal. They're not going to be hospitable life. They're not going to be very many land animals cruising around, because it's just going to be so, the weather patterns and just everything is going to be really, really, really brutal, because without the moon, our planet doesn't have the axis, okay? It doesn't have tides, it doesn't have weather patterns, it doesn't have any of that. So without the moon, this isn't a very hospitable planet. Mars itself would be, because we don't have as much information as I'd like to about Mars. I know that Venus, they call our sister planet. Okay, and they figured back billions of years ago, not billions, I'm sorry, billions of years ago, that Venus looked a lot like Earth. Mercury, of course, is too close to the sun, so it's just, just a really, really, really uninhabitable place, as far as we know. But Venus, at some point, they figure it had some water on it, and it looked a lot like Earth. It has a very thick cloud cover and really, really thick atmosphere, which does actually kind of help keep the cosmic rays and the cosmic radiation somewhat out of the atmosphere. But the atmosphere itself is very, very, very thick, and very, it destroys all probes that lands on it within a matter of a couple hours. So, wouldn't be very, but back then it might have been a whole lot more hospitable. Now, of course, Earth itself, like I said, is a pretty violent place, lots of water. Mars, I think, would have been a lot different than what it looks like now. Mars would have water, okay? It would have been a seismically active planet, volcanoes, that type of thing. Then the fifth planet, okay, where the asteroid belt is, that was a planet. Now, that planet would have been a little bit bigger than Mars, but not a gas giant, okay? And it would have, because it's a little farther out from the sun, okay, being bigger than Mars, but it's a little farther out from the sun, I do believe the way life may have evolved on that planet, there would have been some life maybe on the surface, but I believe, if I'm correct, life on that planet, life would have started on the inside, okay? And take for instance, okay, Jupiter. It's got a moon called Europa. Okay, and the crust of that planet is about 5-6 miles thick of solid ice. Okay, and nitrogen ice, and but the interior of the planet, as it's orbiting Jupiter, it goes like this. It has a contraction, expands a little bit, and that's just from the massive gravitational force that Jupiter does. And when it does that, it creates a lot of heat on the inside of the planet, the center of the planet. Okay, which has melted a lot of the ice on the inside of the planet, so it's actually liquid water. Now, right at the bottom of that ocean, okay, there are going to be hydro vents, okay, shooting all over the place, and it's got extreme heat, and it's warming up, it's making the water melt. So in Europa, they say there's probably 5 times more water than all the oceans on Earth. So that's a lot of water. And now, if you go to the bottom of our ocean and you go anywhere where there's a hydro vent, the first thing you're going to see around these hydro vents is bacteria all over the place. I mean, it's just everywhere. And at first, they would have never thought. I remember watching a documentary, and the scientists didn't think there would be anything near these hydro vents because it would be too acidic, and all the extreme heat, the acidic, carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide and the heat and all the acidic stuff that's coming out of these hydro vents. They didn't think it would kill anything that went near it, but they were wrong, because when they first got their first looks at these hydro vents, you'd see all the bacteria, the plankton, and everything all around these hydro vents. It's just all over the place. And then you got little fish all the way eating all this bacteria and stuff like that. And you got bigger fish eating those little fish, and then it just spreads out. And that's what hydro vents look like. It's just surrounded by life. That's what the hydro vents in Europa look like. Also on Ganymede and also on Enceladus. Those three moons, they're moons. Where there's water, there will always be life. I don't care what NASA says, and I don't care what governments say, and I don't care what anybody else says. Where there's water, there's life. If the idea that life on another planet is scary to you, or you find the idea of it insulting because how could the universe ever create something as magnificent as humanity, just turn off this video and don't ever come back this way again. I appreciate that. Thank you. Now, moving on. The thing about life is all over this solar system, okay? Life started on the 5th planet, okay? Now, for however long life was on that planet, they evolved and evolved. They, like this planet, they started, by beating on drums and dancing to the beat of drums, and, praying to the gods of whatever, okay? That's the natural evolution of just about probably any life form that evolves to be sentient beings like we are. Now, as they evolve, they start fighting wars and this and that. Now, I don't know how long it takes a civilization to get to the point where they not only can destroy themselves, but completely and totally destroy a whole planet and turn it into an asteroid belt. That kind of technology we don't quite have yet. So, however long it took them to get there, they got there, because that's what it is. Now, it might not be, I could be wrong, it might not have been them who destroyed their own planet. It could have been an outside influence, and they were fighting against somebody else, and their planet got destroyed. But their planet got destroyed, nonetheless. Now, I don't think that that was the end of that civilization. I think some of them managed to evacuate and get off that planet, and they ended up on Mars. and for some time they inhabited Mars and stuff. But if you look at Mars, I mean, all you have to do is look, and you can tell Mars is another planet that there was a civilization on, and it was destroyed by war. Now, move one more planet in, and you get us. Okay, are you seeing a pattern here? Okay, because war, 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 and if you think that the evolution of life on this planet is what we've been taught is accurate, no, it's not. Not even close. The history of evolution of life on this planet, just us being here is because our moon, okay, it wasn't some protoplanet called Theia that sheared off the top of our planet and then caught in our orbit. It wasn't. The moon isn't from here, okay? And just look at it from a mathematical point of view, okay? Our moon is 1/400th the size of the sun. It just so happens to be 1/400th the distance between the Earth and the moon. That is mathematically impossible to be, especially if it's something that just crashed into our planet and it got caught in our orbit. Not possible. You will not find a planet that has a full solar eclipse with a moon that perfectly covers the sun anywhere in this galaxy, unless it's another artificial satellite. Okay. Anyway, our moon was brought here by whoever brought it here. Okay. When they brought it here, it did a few things. Okay. Not only it gave our Earth the axis it sits on. Okay. It gave it slowed the rotation, so we have our 24-hour days. It gave us tides. It gave us weather patterns. The moon is also tidally locked. This pretty much everybody should know. This is, really, really simple stuff. But the same side of the moon faces us, so we can't see the far side of the moon. Now, when whoever brought that here, put it here, that gave this planet everything it needed to be hospitable and for life to be able to not only to grow, but to thrive and flourish. And flourish it did. And our very existence is a result of an alien race bringing and putting a moon orbiting this planet, or we would have never been here. Okay? So it's humbling. A lot of people don't even know what the word humble means, okay? But we're not that special, we're not that unique, and we sure as hell ain't more advanced, okay? We're way down around the infantile area. But that's just what it is. It took all the bullshit of the last couple thousand years to get here. Okay? We have an asteroid belt where there's supposed to be a planet. Mars was inhabited, destroyed by war, and there is still life on Mars. NASA's been hinting at that and hinting at trying to drop little hints at, so maybe there's something like that. There's life on Mars. You're gonna find that out just like everybody else. There's life on Europa, life on Enceladus, life on Ganymede. There is life. According to some of the people that work in the United States government, there's an alien from Venus who's been working down there. I've seen the reports, I've seen the pictures of this guy. They took pictures of him in 1956, and then they got pictures of him again in, I think it was 1971, and the guy hadn't aged a day. Hadn't aged a day. So, I mean, if it's true, I mean, I can see that. I think there's life in just about every planet or moon. Some of the moons around Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and they seem to have also cut pictures of what look to be like snails on the surface of Pluto. It's quite an interesting watch. Actually, if you type in snails on Pluto, you'll see what I mean. It's quite an interesting thing. But life exists all over the solar system. Okay, and it's one of the things they've been trying to hide very, very hard. But the universe is teeming with life. Okay, we are but one of billions of civilizations here in our universe. Okay, just in our Milky Way galaxy. That doesn't include the other hundreds of millions of other galaxies. So it's just, you should know that we have never been alone. We will never be alone. We are part of something much greater. And in order for us to be able to move forward and take our place amongst that, we have to learn to accept ourselves as a species, not as many races, but as a species. We're all brothers and sisters, whether you like it or not. It's time that humanity grew up and understand that.